One of the most requested topics we've had in a long time. Some guns in Call of Duty feel like they're punching you with the force of 1,000 suns. You know the scene in Scott Pilgrim where Todd punches the highlights out of Knives' hair? Well, that's what these guns feel like. They're punchy, like you're getting smashed in the face by a fully wound up punch from Donkey Kong. I mean, these are the hardest hitting guns in Call of Duty. Look at the Odin from Modern Warfare 2019. I don't even like the game, but I think this gun was special. Yeah, it didn't fire quickly. In fact, I think it was one of the slowest full auto guns in Modern Warfare history. But what made it so satisfying was that damage profile. It was a full auto assault rifle, but it had the damage profile of a marksman rifle for whatever reason we don't know. There's also a bunch of ridiculous attachments available. You had the huge extended barrels. You had the comically oversized Colossus suppressor that would not only keep you off the radar, but it would also extend your range so you could two-tap people from anywhere. I mean, the scene in Infinity War where Hulk gets punched so hard it shoots Bruce Banner out of his body, that's what it felt like to get shot by the Odin. It was never a meta choice because of how slow it was and how overly sweaty the game was. But I always had appreciation for it, even if I hated the game. And it wasn't even the only gun in the game that I feel that way about. But before we talk about that next gun, guys, if you're into golf at all, if any of you golf on any level, do me a favor. Go over and check out Jimmy Golfs. We're on a new journey over there. I've golfed for most of my life, and I've decided to make a YouTube channel about that and covering YouTube golf and everything that's going on out there. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as quick as possible. I know 700 of you here in the community definitely have picked up a club or you like golf. If you do, I would love to see you guys over there. Link is in the description and the pinned comment. Now, this has to be one of the best AK-47s in COD history. I'm talking about the AK-47 in Modern Warfare 2019. Holy cow, we have just back-to-back gave props to something in Modern Warfare 2019. What is happening? What is happening? I mean, honestly, this AK, it's kind of lame. I don't mean in the sense of it's lame. It's lame. It was never popular in the Modern Warfare 2019 community. Again, this community cared way too much about meta choices, moving super quickly because the SBMM made it, you had to play that way. So slower weapons like the AK, they weren't going to get the attention or love they deserve. This gun was pure fun. Hit like a freaking truck. I don't think it was the #1 best AK in COD history. But when it comes to making a rifle that made you feel like a total boss, like you were hitting your enemy with the truck every single time you shot them, this was a fantastic example. And since we're talking about the AK, we might as well, I guess, bring up the other version of the AK that also made you feel like you were wielding Thor's hammer at people. Now, this one is one of my favorite guns in the entire game. I know I wasn't alone. The AK-47 in COD 4. The fire rate was decent, visual recoil, yeah, a little high, but the damage, oh, the damage. Especially if you ran stopping power, which everybody was back then. You could two-tap people from anywhere, complete with some of the punchiest and most satisfying feedback ever put in a Call of Duty game. Listen to this gun. It's honestly pretty insane to think about because this game came out in 2007, way before most of you even knew what Call of Duty was. Infinity Ward may not have the best rep with the community right now, but they were crushing it back in the Xbox 360 era, and COD 4's AK is a perfect example of that. And you know what? Let's go for the trifecta. Why not another AK? Let's keep it super topical here. We already talked about the AK-47 from COD 4, so what about the AK-74U in COD 4? I would argue this gun felt even harder hitting than the full-size AK, which is wild. I guess maybe because it had a smaller weapon model? The fact that the gun was smaller made you feel like it was a tank. I mean, the sound effects on it, how much force every bullet felt like it was coming out of the barrel. Listen to this. We've taken the lead. Now, what other SMGs would let you zip around the map, two-tapping people from mid-range? What other SMGs, let me ask you, truly felt like a full-size rifle, but half the size and double the speed? It was a freak of nature. It felt like a speeding bus every time you pulled the trigger. May not have literally been the hardest-hitting SMG in COD history, but it felt like one of the hardest hitting. That's why it's here today. A piece of COD history for a reason. But you guys all know another SMG from this era of COD that hit like a bus, and if I'm putting the 7.4U on this list, I have to put this next SMG on the list too. Can you guess what it is? The SMG that hit so hard it literally broke the game. From day one, the MP40 was a problem. It was a problem in World at War. And for some reason, Treyarch never nerfed it. And don't say, well, Jimmy, it was 2008. Treyarch literally couldn't have nerfed it because I actually was there. And that's not true. Call of Duty was getting balancing patches during this era. And for some reason, Treyarch never thought it was necessary to give one to the MP40 despite it being an SMG that hit for 59 base damage, and you could put stopping power on top of that to bring the damage up to something stupid like 78 or 79 a pop. Explain to me why that was a good idea. Probably wasn't, right? But it was satisfying. Something extra powerful feeling about using an SMG that hits like an atomic bomb, and that's what the MP40 was. Yeah, it ruined the experience in the process because it invalidated every other weapon in the game, and sure, I really do wish it had been nerfed or removed from the game entirely so there would have been more variety in the sandbox. A little too late now, right? I mean, I guess I'm done being passive-aggressive about an 18-year-old gun. I know it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I'm going to get happy about an 11-year-old gun. Black Ops 3. Yes, Black Ops 3 turns 11 years old this year. Do you feel old yet? And the Man of War was one of my favorite guns in Black Ops 3. Sure, I might still be a little salty about the nerf because I still think Treyarch was smoking something weird when they were nerfing this. The gun, I mean, you're never going to nerf the Brecci, but you nerf the Man of War. Slow firing assault rifle. Felt huge. Really sounded like hit markers were cracking through your speakers every time you landed a shot. Listen to this. And did I mention this gun has one of the coolest reload animations in Call of Duty history because it has one of the coolest reload animations in Call of Duty history. Yeah. So, yeah, you had the chunky sound effects. You had the beefy feedback. Awesome reload animation, which I mentioned twice. What was it missing? Nothing. I absolutely love this gun. I don't have anything negative to say about it. Now, I've gone on record about this next gun saying I didn't really enjoy this multiplayer very much. I'm talking about Black Ops 4. I did play the crap out of Blackout, so I have a lot of time logged with this gun. I still think it's one of the best examples of a beefcake assault rifle. The Rampart 17. It was like the Man of War, and I think that's why I liked it so much. Relatively low fire rate, relatively chunky recoil pattern, but it hit super hard. In a game like Black Ops 4 and Blackout, where the time to kill was super long, you felt the power behind the barrel on this thing because it felt like you only needed to pop somebody a handful of times before they were on the floor. Now, with how chunky the hit markers were in this game, it made everything feel impactful and honestly badass. It did. A totally awesome futuristic version of the iconic SCAR rifle, perfectly translated to the appeal of that gun in Black Ops 4. But since I brought it up, let's talk about it. The SCAR in everything. It's appeared a ton of times throughout COD history. Almost every version of it would have deserved its own spot on the list, but we would have had a top 10 of SCARs. I'm going to put them all together. Whether you're talking about the SCAR H in Modern Warfare 2, the SCAR L in Modern Warfare 3, the SCAR H in Black Ops 2, or the TAC family of rifles in the new Modern Warfare games, it doesn't matter. This iconic rifle hits like a tank, despite firing a bit slowly compared to other guns at your disposal. Personally, I think the Black Ops 2 version was the best of all of them, but I do know some of you are partial to the classic Modern Warfare 2 version, and some of you swear by the new Modern Warfare versions, even though I don't like acknowledging that those games exist. Heck, I'm sure some of you remember the SCAR L from Modern Warfare 3. Super underrated. I would say it had the best iron sights in the entire game. The SCAR always felt super powerful and extremely versatile, and it always felt underappreciated. So I'm going to put them all together. Now, you can't talk about hard-hitting guns in Call of Duty history on this channel without talking about arguably the beefiest SMG in the franchise. I'll give you a second to guess. Yes. It's the UMP-45 in Modern Warfare 2, and I know it didn't have the highest base damage of any SMG, right? Heck, it didn't have the highest base damage for any SMG on this list, but there was something about how all the pieces came together on this gun in the puzzle. Weapon model, sound effects, fire rate, color, hit markers, animations. It just felt cool. And the whole time you were admiring all those details, you were killing people with 2 bullets from anywhere. And would you believe there was actually a decent amount of people back in the day that didn't think the UMP-45 was good? There are people who thought it was too bouncy, fired too slowly, which is crazy. I mean, I appreciate that basically everyone in the COD community now agrees this gun was busted and it absolutely belongs on this list, but it's kind of absurd that this gun wasn't all that popular back in the day. If you knew about it, you knew it was nuts, but there was a lot of people who never picked it up. I mean, I don't get it. Anyway, whatever. For the number 1 pick on the list today, I wanted to take you guys by surprise. I want to pick a gun that may not have been top tier, may not have been that good when you compared it to the most popular weapons in the game, but it felt so cool. It felt like you were a total boss using it. I mean, the gun wasn't that great. It was never going to be able to stand up to the BAL 27 in any situation. And the rule of Advanced Warfare was that if a gun couldn't stand up to the BAL, it wasn't viable. But here's the thing. I loved the HBRA3. I know a lot of you did too. And why was that? Well, because it sounded huge. Looked awesome. Each bullet felt like you were personally punching the target in the face with a giant boxing glove. And what's craziest about this gun is it was super accurate. A lot of time in Call of Duty, the hard-hitting, slow-firing guns like this would have some nasty kick to them. But the HBR-A3 had phenomenal accuracy for some reason, which just made it all the more fun to use. You could punch people in the face from across the map as much as you wanted to and then get melted by a bow spammer, but you honestly didn't care because you were using a cooler gun. To me, when I'm thinking about hard-hitting guns from COD history, the HBR-A3 is one of the most best examples. I mean, maybe you disagree, I don't know. Give me your list of the favorite hard-hitting guns in COD history. And the HBR-A3 Insanity, that was my gun. That was the first time I cracked 100 kills in a match in Advanced Warfare. I'll see you soon.